Welcome back to another section of Soccer for Americans. In today's episode, I will teach you the general rules for fouls and how yellow and red cards are used to maintain order in this game. You need to know that the center referee is the highest authority during a soccer match. He is the king of the field, and any order that he makes must be followed. He has the power to call fouls, add extra time, expel players, expel the team's manager, or even expel the team's water boy if he pleases. He can also cancel the match altogether if he thinks it would be the best decision for that given time. The FIFA rulebook must support all the decisions he makes, but he is not completely bulletproof. Any team unjustly affected by his decisions can file a complaint directly to FIFA or the league's federation so they can investigate and declare if the decision in question was legitimate or not. But this can only happen after the match has ended. During the match, he is the king of the world. This is done to keep the power to one single person who is capable of maintaining order during the match, so the game runs smoothly. These rules apply to all leagues, tournaments, and matches officially affiliated with FIFA. Even most local amateur and recreational leagues follow FIFA rules for fouls. In general terms, a foul is considered an action that gives an unfair advantage to any player or team during a soccer match. If the referee believes that a foul was committed, he orders the game to stop. He then proceeds to place the ball where the foul was committed and give possession of the ball to the affected team. We will go over the most common types of fouls. As you may know, soccer is considered a contact sport. It is not as physical as American football, because the rules establish very specific actions that count as fair or legal contact. Remember, in soccer, the only protective gear you wear are shin pads. Pushing. You are allowed to push your opponent with shoulder-to-shoulder contact only. You cannot use the force of your arms to push your opponent away from you or the ball. Soccer stands over the principle of playing the ball only. This means that any aggressive action you take must be done to win the ball fairly. Players can measure their force fairly by eliminating the use of your arms to push your opponent. Since you can throw someone off balance by using your arms, the rules only allow you to measure your force against your opponent by using your whole body to push against your opponent's shoulder. This way, the rules guarantee that only the strongest player has the best chance of winning the ball fairly and with the least amount of probability that someone gets injured. You have to be careful though. Even to this day, some players, especially in amateur leagues, believe that as long as you use your shoulder to push someone, this won't be considered a foul. But they are very wrong. The rule only applies if you push your opponent with your shoulder against his shoulder. If you use your shoulder to push your opponent on his back, this will be considered a foul. This is because you are not fighting for the ball fairly, and it is considered cowardly to tackle someone from behind. In soccer, you are not allowed to hit, punch, or kick your opponent. This next rule further explains the way you can make contact with your opponent. Not touching the ball first. As I mentioned before, soccer stands on the principle that players should only fight for possession of the ball. This means every aggressive effort you make against your opponent must be justified. And how does a player prove that his action was only to win the ball and not cause harm to his opponent? Well, by touching the ball first. Here's an example. If someone from Team A is running with possession of the ball and is suddenly taken down by a Team B defender with a slide tackle, the referee will take into consideration these two main points to consider the action as a foul or not. These points are organized in order of importance. 1. Did Team B's defender touch the ball first? If yes, equals no foul. If no, equals foul. 2. Was the forced use by the B defender reasonable? Yes equals fair game. No, How can sanction Team B defender for dangerous play and excessive use of force? Quick note. Even if the defender was not able to touch the ball or the Team A player but used excessive force in his tackle, the referee can sanction the Team B defender for the intention of injuring his opponent and can be expelled from the game. The referee is there to protect the integrity and safety of the players. He will gladly expel any player who has a bad day and is trying to unload his anger onto his opponents. Soccer cleats. As you may know, football boots or soccer shoes have spikes on the sole to provide better traction on the field and prevent players from slipping. In order to protect all the players on the pitch, FIFA also has rules on how you can use your cleats. One of them being that if the referee sees you step on another player's foot even by accident, he will call a foul. Yes, that's right. You have to be careful where you step because any cleat contact against an opponent player will be sanctioned. A player can also get sanctioned with a foul if he leaves his leg extended up too high. If the player extends his leg above the opponent's chest, the ref will consider this as dangerous play and call a foul. This rule was made to prevent accidental kicks to the face. Another rule regarding cleats is the cleats up rule. This rule prohibits a player from tackling or getting close to an opposing player with his cleats in the direction of that player. Every tackle or kick that is directed towards another player must be with the cleats pointing away from the opposing team's player. This is done to avoid painful injuries caused by the spikes under these soccer shoes. It's important to note that on professional games, some players use metal spikes under their shoes. On amateur or recreational games, these are not permitted. Handballs. In soccer, players are not allowed to touch the ball with their arms or hands. The only players in the field who are allowed to grab the ball with their hands are the goalkeepers. And before we continue with this rule, let me answer the most common question I get from newbies. Why doesn't the keeper grab the ball and run towards the opposing goal and just score? I mean, when I was a kid and I was watching a soccer game with my dad without the slightest clue of what the rules were, I still understood or concluded that there was probably a rule to prevent that from happening. I mean, come on, that would be way too easy. So yes, there is a rule to prevent that from happening. See these sets of rectangles on each end of the field. This is called the penalty box, the goalkeeper's area, or the keeper's box. Don't get confused. All these names refer to this same rectangular area. The goalkeeper's box is the only area where the goalkeeper can use his hands. Think of it as an immunity zone. Once the keeper steps out of this box, all rules regarding handballs apply to him as well. Inside this zone, the goalkeeper is given special protection, where you basically can't really touch the goalkeeper. The ref will almost always side with the keeper if someone touches him inside his area. Okay, so back to handballs. If a player touches the ball with his hand or arm, the referee will award possession to the opposing team. This rule applies if the arm of the player is extended away from the torso. If the ball happens to hit the player's arm while it is resting on the torso, the ref will not call the foul. This is because the player who has his hand resting on his torso is proving that he is being prudent and has no intention of obstructing the ball's path with his arms. Even if a player touches the ball with his arm unintentionally, the ref will still call the foul. So, it is best to keep your arms as close as possible. Penalties. Penalties are a direct free kick awarded to the team that was affected by a foul inside the defending team's penalty box. The ball is placed in this dot 12 yards in front of the goal, where an attacking team's player, usually the calmest and coldest-blooded, faces the goalkeeper on a 1-versus-1 shootout. You will usually see a big celebration from the crowd and players whenever a penalty is called. This is because the chance of scoring a penalty is anywhere from 75 to 80%. This high probability of scoring is also the biggest pressure point for the kicker. Just imagine the immense pressure you would feel when thousands of people are watching you quietly, expecting you to score. Yellow and red cards. In soccer, the referee uses a card system to sanction players for the fouls they have committed during the game. Not all fouls require a yellow or red card. The referee can also sanction a player with a warning. Whether the referee will decide to give a warning, a yellow card, or a red card to a player depends on the severity and intention of the foul committed. One yellow card is a warning. 2 yellow cards are an expulsion, and 1 direct red card is a direct expulsion. Once a player is expelled, a team cannot replace him and must continue playing with 1 less man on the field. There have been instances where a referee has used the red card on the very first foul of the game due to the severity of the foul. A player can commit various small fouls during the match and not be sanctioned with a card because the fouls are not aggressive in nature or don't threaten the safety of another player. In this case, the player will receive verbal warnings. If the player continues to commit more fouls, then the referee will decide to sanction the player with a yellow card. You might be asking, how does showing a card to a player improve the fairness of the game? Well, yellow and red cards come with a fine that the team has to pay. Also, a yellow card conditions a specific player to play less aggressively and more cautiously, because if he receives another yellow card, he will be expelled from the game. This will make that player less effective and slow in his decision-making. These are all the rules we will cover in this video. I know. You are waiting for the most controversial rule in soccer, the offside rule. This will require a whole video for itself, so subscribe if you want to get notified when I upload the explanation for the offside rule.